Here's a quick demonstration of what the Babelway platform can do to fulfill your integration needs. Before I get into the product, just want to highlight exactly what Babelway seeks to solve, and it's really this problem right here. We have some system that speaks a certain file format, needs to send data to another system, but that system speaks a different file format. So Babelway lives in between, receives the data, transforms it, sends it out, and each system can communicate in an automated way. And Babelway is a SaaS product, so it can be accessed via any web browser from any computer. When I sign in, you'll see that there's two main parts of Babelway. Monitoring, this is where we see the flow of data within the platform, and manage and build is where we build the integrations from one point to another. For this demo, I'm going to walk through building a new integration. We have the option to do stuff with the channels I've already built or something standard in the Babelway catalog, but for the demo, we're just going to build something custom. Give it a name. In this case, let's say we're going to send an invoice to one of our partners. Each channel has 5 pieces to build the channel integration from point A to point B. Gateway is the word that we use for communication, and message is the word that we use for file format. So when I set up a gateway, you'll see this list of all the technologies supported by Babelway. Some common ones like AS2, FTP, SFTP. We support WAN interconnects as well as a lot of other technologies you might need. In this case, we'll just go ahead and set up an FTP server. When setting up a gateway, you're just presented with the parameters you need. So an FTP server just needs a username and password. So we'll give it a test username and password, click create gateway. Now we move on to the message in. We click this here, and it's a similar list, but in this case, it's file formats instead of communication. So things we have X12, XML, CSV, flat file, whatever you might need. In this case, we'll just do a CSV. Now, most file message definitions are set by a sample file that you just upload the sample and Babelway reads it. So we're going to go ahead and upload a basic CSV invoice. There are some parameters depending on the file format, like CSV, does it have headers, etc. Babelway reads the file and builds a tree structure to represent the data. In this case, the CSV, it's a one line of header information and then a repeating line of data under those headers. Skip over transformation for the minute and go to message out. In this case, this will be the format that my partner receives in our example. So then we'll say that they receive X12. Again, we build it off of sample file if we have. Sometimes if it's a standard format like X12, we do have access to the X12 catalog, so you can build your file off of the catalog if you don't have a sample segment by segment. But to keep things simple, we'll just upload a sample. Confirm. And here Babelway has another tree structure, a little more complicated for X12, but it's just our way of representing the data segments and elements for everything in there. After that, I'll click transform. When we have both the files, you'll see here on the left we have the CSV, and on the right we have the X12. And this is where we will translate the data so it builds that integration. Babelway's transformation is built on a drag and drop functionality, so one of the columns we have in the CSV is an invoice number. I'll go ahead and click, and I can drag this over to the invoice number within the X12 from there. Now obviously not everything is a one-to-one mapping, so we often functions to manipulate the data. So a common example might be that the date formats are different. So if I click function editor and see all the functions we have in the platform to manipulate the data. And we'll sort by date time, and we want to do change date time format. So we'll drag over the invoice date, and it tells me what I need to build. So the format in we have, let's say month / day / year. And the format out, we want years first, month day. And it goes ahead and builds that format for me. You can see how it is represented up here. Now you can get pretty complex depending on the needs of your data. You can have multiple functions working together, so it can concatenate multiple fields working together. We have lookup tables, conditional functions, lots of different things to get the data working the way you need it to. Now the last piece we need to build is the gateway out, so this is how my partner will be receiving the data. In this case, we'll have a similar drop-down to whatever we want to do, like an AS2. Say this is my partner ID 123. Recipient address, click create gateway. And that's it. That's how you build an integration within Babelway.